What's up, guys? You're welcome to Daily Data channel once again. If this is your first time here, on this channel, I create content around data science, productivity, and faith. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between the data analyst, the analytics engineer, and the data engineer. The data space is a space that is constantly evolving, and there's a plethora of fields and specializations within the data space. From big data to analytics engineering to data scientists to BI specialists and all that. There's really so much within the space. And today's video, I'm going to be trying to explain the difference between the data analyst, the analytics engineer, and the data engineer. I'm going to be talking about their roles, salaries, tools used, and skill set, and also talk about what is right for you or which of these roles is right for you. Yeah. Almost every organization has data analyst, and his goal really of data analysis is really about bringing out insights from the company's data, right? So he has to analyze the data, find trends, insight from this data, and then be able to give these insights to management so they can make informed decisions from their data. Oftentimes, he has to create dashboards, critical dashboards that explains KPIs and performance of staff. Data analyst has to understand business operations and also have domain knowledge as regards the industry he's working in. So a data analyst is required to have industry knowledge as regards whichever industries he or she is working in. And also he or she needs to have some data cleaning and preparation skills as well. So these are some of the basic roles and descriptions of a data analyst. So for the tools, a data analyst needs to have a good grasp of spreadsheets, how to use spreadsheets to analyze data. Could it be Microsoft Excel or Google Spreadsheets? Data analyst has to be able to understand how to use spreadsheets to make sense out of data. Also is expected to know how to use SQL for querying databases so as to make those analysis and provide insights from the data, because oftentimes all data are stored in relational databases, so you would have to understand SQL, right? So like it's like basic too. And then Python is a plus too. If the analyst could understand Python is a plus. For then you'll be able to now get your own data from scraping websites where necessary, doing your own little analysis within Jupyter notebooks for large data sets that you wouldn't want to do within Excel and stuff like that. And also and also a business intelligence tool like Power BI, Tableau, Google Data Studio, Looker, and stuff like that. So these are some of the basic tools needed for a data analyst. What about the salary range? The salary range could be from anywhere from $40,000 per year to $69,000 per year. According to Glassdoor for December 2021, the average salary for a data analyst in the US is at about $69,000 per year. So that is that for data analyst. So we're going to move down to the data engineer. All right, so about the data engineer, what does he really do? So the data engineer is not so much about doing the basic analytics of analyzing the data to get insights out of it. No. Data engineer's role is all about creating a pipeline from the raw data sources into a data warehouse, right? This is where the concept of data warehousing comes in. Because for a large organization, data could come from several sources. The main database, this data could be structured, unstructured, or semi-structured. They could be relational databases with SQL, or they could be non-relational databases like MongoDB. We could have data sources from CRMs, from social media. These data sources are coming from different areas, right? The data analyst will not be able to pick up the data and analyze them, right? This is where data engineer comes in. He's able to pick this data from these data sources, create a pipeline that moves this data seamlessly from their sources into one whole data warehouse, right? And so from data warehouse, data can now be transformed to a format that will be used by data analysts. But really, the data engineer is all about creating that pipeline of from data source into a data warehouse. He creates and manages and maintains that pipeline so that the analyst is just concerned with creating analysis and dashboards from the clean and prepared data. Remember that data is as good as the quality of Remember that the analysis done on a data, either by a data analyst or data scientist, is only as good as the quality of the data. This is where data engineer comes in. He not only ensures that the pipeline is created, he tries to create clean data. He tries to make data clean enough, quality enough, so that the data scientists and the data analysts can be able to get good and quality data for their analysis or machine learning. So what tools does data engineer use? Data engineers oftentimes are strong in programming, and so oftentimes they are strong in Python or Java or any other programming language as it may be, because oftentimes they have to write some custom-made scripts, right, that will clean the data or transform the data or use in creating that pipeline from source to the data warehouse, right? So oftentimes they are strong in these programming tools, and also they are strong in SQL as well, because they have to be able to query SQL databases, and also NoSQL like MongoDB to query those databases so they can pull out data from those sources, aggregate them into one central data warehouse. They also use tools like Spark for streaming data real time, Kafka, Amazon Redshift, and also data warehousing tools like Snowflake and BigQuery as well. And for their scheduling, they also use tools like Airbyte, where they have to write a custom job to schedule the flow of data from the source to the data warehouse, or more friendly tools like Airbyte or Metallo that can be used for scheduling data from the sources into a data warehouse. So this is basically the role of a data engineer. He's not so much concerned about the analysis of the analyst, about building dashboards and all that. No, his main concern is getting the data from the source through a pipeline that does not break, that keeps the data in a clean and good format, and aggregates all of it into a central data warehouse, right? So this is what data engineer really does. So what is the average salary of a data engineer? According to pay scale, the average salary yearly, the average annual salary of a data engineer is roughly around $92,000, which is a little bit above, or not a little bit, which is some about $30,000 above the data analyst. Oftentimes, because the tools and skill set required for a data engineer is often much more higher than that for a data analyst. A data analyst may not be so much required for to be strong in programming, but data engineer needs to be really strong in his programming skills. Now, all these things are very flexible, right? Because some hiring managers could have these tools embedded in recruitment rule for data analysts, right? So like the industry is very flexible. So depending on what the hiring manager needs, but these are like the basic understanding of what these roles really are and what they do. All right, guys, let's talk about the analytics engineer. The analytics engineer is like the new kid on the block, right? So in the data science, in the data project workflow, we have two flows. One is called the ETL and the ELT. ETL means extract, transform, load. So extract, transform, load. And ELT means extract, load, transform. Before now, a lot of the data processes was around extract, transform, load. Data engineer extracts data, does this transformation, loads it into the data warehouse. The data analyst picks it up from there and then does some analysis with the clean data for the business. The ELT, the data engineer extracts data, loads it into the data warehouse, be it Snowflake or BigQuery, and the analytics engineer at this point now transforms the data. This is the process called ELT, extract, load, transform. Right. So the analytics engineer does the work of transforming this data from the raw form in the data warehouse into a usable format by the data analyst. The analytics engineer uses software development best practices like testing, staging the tables, and other best practices in software development. The analytics engineer also has domain knowledge and understands business operations. So it's not just cleaning data for just the basic cleaning data, like put in the right formats, take away unwanted fields and stuff like that. No, he also because he understands the business and has domain knowledge, he's able to transform the data in such a way that is beneficial for the business, so that the data analyst can easily pull up insights from the data. Data analysis engineer is also able to maintain data documentation, right? Because this process is done in another tool, so he's able to create and maintain documentation for all his transformation stages and steps. Okay, let's talk about the tools. What tools required for analytics engineering? Analytics engineer is heavy on SQL. He's heavy on SQL. And the major tool being used by analytics engineering today is DBT. There are other computers in the market, but then DBT really has that flexibility where you're able to do lots of transformation within DBT. So the way it works is so your data warehouse, let's say you're using BigQuery as data warehouse, the analytics engineer connects DBT to BigQuery, pulls up data from BigQuery into DBT, creates some models with SQL that cleans and transforms the data, and then creates new clean and transform tables, and then feeds it back into BigQuery, and data analyst can connect to BigQuery from his visualization to Power BI, Data Studio, Looker, and then creates the dashboards and analytics required by the organization. So you see that this whole flow allows the whole space to be seamless. Everyone now gets to focus on really what they are doing. For a small organization, if you're a team of one, eventually within everything, you'll be working as data engineer, data analyst, analysis engineer, all by yourself. But then for large organizations like a farm company or large organizations that have lots of data, it is important that they're able to break down these data roles into specific niches. Because oftentimes, a lot of hiring managers they just cluster everything into one role and call it maybe a data analyst or a data engineer and stuff like that. So we are hoping that as the industry is evolving, people will be able to understand these nuances these nuances between these several roles. So, what's the average salary for the analytics engineer? The average salary for the analytics engineer, according to Glassdoor, is around $97,000 per year. So roughly around the same area with the data engineer. So like the analytics engineer requires more skill set than data analyst, and not so much into programming like the data engineer. So really these are the differences between the data analyst, the analytics engineer, and the data engineer. Alright, so I hope you get a two or thing out of this video. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you're notified once a new content comes up. Alright guys, thank you.